Hey peeps, we are back. We are talking Love After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 6. Hey, before we get into the video, please do me the honors of subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell so you can always be notified when I post new content, hitting the thumbs up because that does wonders for my channel, and share. Thanks. Chaz and Brandwin. So Chaz is on his way to pick Brandwin up. He has flown to Portland. He is going to marry her the same day that they get out of jail. He says that she is going to be bride number 5. And I said, oh gosh, I certainly hope that there isn't a bride number 6. He says that they're going to be getting married as soon as he picks her up. They're going to go to a park that's close by the prison, and they have decided to wear matching tracksuits. I said, nothing says love like a matching tracksuit. I mean, serious. Will they be the Adidas ones? Those are kind of cute. And will there be heels? I'm just saying. He also finds out that her best friend Jessica is going to come to the prison on her release day and bring her ex-boyfriend Aaron. Why the hell is Aaron coming? And why would Jessica bring him when she knows that allegedly Brandwin is in love with Chaz? She had to have told her about this tracksuit wedding. Why in the hell would she show up with Aaron? We find out that Aaron is responsible for Brandwin going to jail. From what I understand is they were together in a relationship that was extremely toxic. He was supposed to be getting her into rehab, but instead they swing over at a hotel, and somehow the hotel is busted and Brandwin is there with the goods, I assume, the medication, and she ends up spending 2 years in jail. Now, what I thought was weird is that she did say that she talked to him while she was in jail. Why would you be talking to him if he is the cause of you going to jail and you don't have feelings for this guy anymore? So it's the day of her release and Chaz is outside of the prison. He is super excited. It's wedding day. It's raining a little bit, so he's not really excited about that. But what I thought was really cute is another lady pulls up and he says, "Who you here for?" And the lady says, "My daughter." And he says, "Who is she?" And she says, "Amy." And I said, "Is this any of your business?" But the lady shows up with flowers for her daughter and he tells her about him and Brandwin's marriage. So she gives him one of her daughter's flowers. And I thought it was odd. I said, "Dude, you've got the tracksuit and a ring. Where's your flowers?" But then Jessica shows up and she's got flowers, but she also has Aaron. Aaron makes it his business to let Chaz know that he's put money on her books and they've had conversations while she's been in jail. Chaz says that he believes Aaron thinks that him and Brandwin are just going to pick up where they left off and run off together. I don't know. I think that Aaron is long from being gone, because if she really didn't want him there, I think she could have impressed upon Jessica, don't bring Aaron or don't come yourself. That's what I would have been saying, especially if I'm pissed off that I went to jail because of Aaron. Amy and Brandwin come out of the prison together. They are both excited. They are greeted with loves and hugs. Finally, Chaz gets the chance to kiss Brandwin. They have been dating for 2 years, pen pals and video pals, for 2 years, and he has not ever kissed her, and he's only seen her in person once. He was a little concerned about being a little shorter than her, but she says that it's okay that he's petite. She gives him this beautiful box that she created in woodshop. And what I thought was interesting was the manager at a woodshop pulled up right on time to give her this box. And the box was beautiful. It was crafted really nicely. It turns out that Brandwin is as beautiful as her pictures. She's really a cute girl. And I'm surprised, but I get a real genuine vibe with the two of them. I mean, it's different from all the other couples. They actually seem cute together. But I really do wish the best of luck for both of them. I don't know why, but I have a special little place in my heart for Chaz. And Brandwin is growing on me. She just seems like a really sweet person. And that box was really pretty and it was a nice idea. Brandwin called that dog that Aaron showed up with her dog. And I'm wondering if that was their dog when they were a couple. Well, I'm wishing the best for those two. I hope that this is his 5th and final wife and that they can be happy, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be some bumps in the road. Indy and Harry. So we see them in the car, and Harry's no driver's license having ass is driving. And I said, has she not learned a lesson here? Why is Harry driving? He's already been pulled over once. This is getting to be ridiculous. They go on a date night, and you know what? I do believe in date nights. I think couples should have date nights, but I also think that couples who have jobs, who have their own place, they should be the ones on the date nights. The ones who live with somebody's sister and don't have jobs, they should be saving every dime that they have. Anyway, they go to this adventure park, which is kind of like a gymnasium. They're having a good time, and she makes this comment about wanting to have sex. She makes this comment about wanting to have the sex, and he says, so you're just gonna throw that little stank booty fresh from the jungle gym? And she says, no, I'm gonna take a shower. And he says, please. I mean, how rude and disgusting is that? Harry has zero respect for this girl. So while they're on this jungle gym date, she tells him things are going so well. If we could do this, we could do babies and marriage. Girl, what the hell are you talking about? I know 6-year-olds who look like spider monkeys at the jungle gym. That doesn't mean they should be ready to get married, have babies. And you and Harry act too immature to be out here having babies. Oh my God. To me, Harry is still 15 in his head. He's talking to the production team. Harry makes this comment to the producers that he doesn't use protection. And he says, well, you know what happens when you don't use protection? He says, she could get pregnant. And he says, that's not what happens when you don't use protection. I use the protection of the pull-out method. Do you know how many millions upon millions of people are walking around here that are products of the pull-out method? Give me a damn break. My thought is this. If you are having the unprotected sex with Indy, who else are you having unprotected sex with? You can not only give her a pregnancy, you could give her something she can't get rid of. I mean, yikes. Right when she's extremely happy, all of a sudden he gets this text message and he tries to hide it. He tries to act as if he didn't receive the text message, and Indy gets really upset and he says, well, why are you in this mood? And she says, I saw that you were getting a text message from T-Baby. We find out that T-Baby is a girl named Terry. The girl sends him a text message wanting to know if he was coming over. And he says that he was trying to come over. And she said, I need that D. Nah, but really, I miss you. Let's get together later. Yeah, question mark. Producers then asked Indy what the text message said, and she said she didn't see it, but she did see Terry saved in his phone with a whole bunch of heart emojis and smiley faces. Now, you know good and daggone well, if a man has a girl saved in his phone with a whole bunch of hearts and smiley faces, he's not the nun down the street. I'm just saying. So in his confessionals, he says that he really cares about this girl, that he cares about both Indy and this other lady. He's just not sure which one he cares the most about. The producers ask him straight out, who is Terry? And he says, I'm not answering that. If I was Indy, I would have gotten in my car, drove over to his sister's house, packed my car, and went home. I would have grabbed my daughter and went home. I don't care how late at night it is. As long as my lights work in my car, I am out of here. Indy tells the production team that she's just going to go home, and she leaves Harry there. The producers asked Harry, where are you going tonight? And he tells them it's none of their business. He didn't try to stop her. He didn't say, Indy, please don't go. Let's talk about this. I think he was absolutely happy that she left so that he would have the opportunity to go to Terry. The next morning, Indy wakes up at Harry's sister's house. Harry is still at Terry Lynn's house. She says that she needs to go out and run some errands. She says that she realizes that Harry is still out cheating on her. Girl, go home. Go home. So then we see Harry at Terry Lynn's, and we find out that Terry Lynn is in school for the medical field. I don't know if she's studying to be a doctor or a nurse. I have no idea, but she's definitely going to some sort of medical training or medical school. She's clearly got some sort of drive, but I'm thinking that she's not that smart because she's dealing with Harry. She lets us know that she was a resident supervisor at the halfway house when she met Harry, and it's against the rules to have a relationship with the residents there. And it turns out that she gets fired from the halfway house because she's having a relationship with Harry. Now, there's a little bit of a difference between Indy and Terry. So Indy wants to have all these babies. Terry is clearly going to school. Indy wants to get married right away, and Terry is trying to let Harry know that he needs to get a job. Indy wants everything, marriage, the babies, everything right now, and Terry is trying to prepare Harry for the future, like getting his own apartment, getting out of his sister's house. So there is a difference. I don't think that Harry has any respect for Indy, and I wish that she would have a little more respect for herself and for her child and just give up. Harry is not giving her the love and the energy that she deserves. I think that Terry is making herself look ridiculous. How are you going to lose your job for this guy who has nothing? You are actually the side chick in a relationship. She tells Harry that he needs to get rid of Indy because him and her are water and Indy is oil and it just doesn't mix. And she has put her foot down, stating that he has to get rid of Indy. I'm thinking, girl, you are new to this relationship. Both of you and Indy need to think better of yourselves and get rid of Harry. I think that Indy should stop thinking about marriage and children and start thinking about the children that she already has. And even if she did decide to stay with Harry, stop thinking about marrying him and having kids. Think about getting a job and getting your own place. You guys are still in his sister's house. I mean, and I wonder when Terry got fired from the halfway house, do they put that in some sort of record that you were fired for fraternization? And when somebody calls to check your references, do they tell them that? That's not good. And you're on national TV talking about it. Also, if I got fired from my job for messing around with some guy who is living at his sister's house with no job and another woman, he definitely wouldn't be staying the night at my house. We wouldn't even be talking. So we then see Indy getting a phone call from her mom. And we parents know our child's voice. We know when something is not right. We know when you're hurting. And Indy's mom tries to get out of her what's wrong, what's going on. And she doesn't want her mom to know. Not talking to your mom and the sound and the tone of your voice, that told your mom everything she needed to know. You just don't realize it. Parents know. The tone of your voice, your actions tells us everything. Indy, you have got to put your daughter first. Instead of riding around town with these fake errands, you need to be at that house, packing and putting your stuff away. Not sitting at the house waiting for Harry to come back from his other girlfriend's house, which the show labeled Terry as Harry's girlfriend. This is crazy. Girl, do better for you and your child. And Terry, girl, quit playing with yourself. Move on, continue your school and get you a new job and get rid of Harry. Rick and Radine, listen, this couple grosses me out. And it's not just the dental reasons, it's other stuff, Ooh. Radine is still on this 24-hour furlough, and she's talking to her mom, and she's letting her mom know that Rick waited for her for 4 years. And she says that Kay still has another 4 years that she's going to be in prison, and she's going to be there for Kay. She's pretty much standing by what she's been saying. Kay is her number one priority. She loves Kay, she loves Rick, but she's not willing to let Kay go. And it sounds as if she's willing to let go of Rick if she absolutely has to in order to keep Kay. But I don't think she wants to let go of Rick because she wants to keep using him for financial support and somewhere to live. Her dad asked all the right questions. He asked her, was she really in love with Rick? And does she really want to spend the rest of her life with him? Or is she just using him for money? He says, because I didn't raise you to be a user. And if you're just using him for money, and to spend time while Kay is in jail, you need to be honest and let Rick go. She tells her dad that yes, she does want to be with Rick, but she also wants to be with Kay, and that she would never use him. And if it ever got to the point where she thought that she just didn't want to be with him anymore and she was totally going to be with Kay, she would let him know. I think that day is going to be the day Kay gets out of jail. When Kay is finally free 4 years from now, that's when she's going to tell Rick that it's over, after she has used him for money and support and for a roof over her head. Rick tries to put his foot down. He tells her that he's not okay with this. He feels as if he's been set up and that she's been lying to him because she's been in a relationship with this girl for quite some time and she never mentioned it. She never told him, and he wanted to know what's her ulterior motive. He says, "What exactly is it that you want from me?" She tells him that she just wants to go with the flow. You know, she just wants to have Kay, but she also wants to have him, and Kay is going nowhere. Rick brings up all the money that he's given her, and she says, "Well, of course you want to bring up the money. Is that all that this is about, is the money?" Of course he's going to bring that up. He has given you, he said, $10,000 over the last 4 years. That's $10,000 that he could have used for anything else. Mainly maybe a dental appointment, but still. I think this is too much. She's absolutely using him. His heart is definitely going to be broken. He's getting used. Rick really needs to let her go. Lacey and Antoine. So he's in the car with her. He is drinking. He is also smoking weed. I said, oh gosh, already? You haven't even been out of prison for 2 hours yet. She's all excited and she let him know that she's made him some homemade chicken teriyaki. And she hands it to him as if he's going to eat it right then. And even though he didn't say it the nicest way, he says, "I don't want to eat any cold teriyaki." And I agree with him. I mean, we saw her putting that cold teriyaki in the container. It was all jellified from the oil and the grease that was put on it. And yeah, nobody wants that. No, ma'am. He tells her that he wants some hot, fresh teriyaki from a restaurant, but he wants her to go in and get it and bring it back because he doesn't want to go into the restaurant around all those people. I guess he was in the hole for quite some time, so that I can understand. He's not really ready to be around a whole bunch of people. He then says that he wants to go see his mom, and she gets all upset about it. She says it's a big turnoff and it's gross that he wants to go see his mom, and I don't understand that. Anybody who's fresh out of prison, who's lucky to have their parents want to go see them. I don't think there's anything weird or gross about wanting to go see his mom. And I don't think that's a fight that she wants to have. This dude is not going to go back and forth with her about his mother. However, when they get back to the house, they're having drinks. He's still smoking weed. She is vaping. And he FaceTimes his mom and grandma, who are lit up. I mean, they are drunk off of their butts. They looked lit up. He's not able to go see his mom because she has COVID. So, you know, he's just got to hang out at Lacey's house. When he gets to her house, he says that her house is plain. I said, really? Dude, you don't have a job. You don't have any goals. You don't have any money. And you just got out of prison and you want to call her house plain? I bet it's not as plain as solitary confinement. I'm just saying. So he says that it's too bad that his mom has COVID because he wants to go over there because they are lit. Did anybody notice that Lacey turned on that baby talk when he was around? I said, oh gosh, you were closer to 40 than not. Don't do the baby talk. I hate that. You know what? This relationship with Antoine is not going to work. This is the man of her dreams, remember? It's not going to work. His mom told you that he is not right for you, that he is savage. He was giving plenty of bitch boy energy. He really was. And she was saying that she didn't want him to be around his mom because it was going to be a lot of partying, a lot of drinking. Well, he's fresh out of prison and you brought him alcohol and weed. And you're worried about him drinking and partying with his mom? It seems that you're okay with it as long as he's right under you. I don't know. I think this relationship is doomed for failure. Kevin and Tiffany. Honey, Kevin comes back to pick Tiffany up. He asked her, so the guy left you here on the curb, huh? And she says, no, I asked him to leave. Besides, I'm paroled to your house. And that could be a violation. He says, so I knock a dude out. Now all of a sudden you want to call me babe. You want to hug. You acting like you care about me now. And, you know, they are crazy. They are perfect for each other. I cannot believe he went back and picked this girl up. He is falling for it. She is batting her eyelashes and apologizing. Oh, she's the victim here. So he asked her, where am I taking you? And she says, your place. He said, where was Mr. Weenie going to drive you to? And she says, back to your place. He says, he was supposed to drive you to my house and then what, get beat up there? She laughed and said, well, that's how the cookie crumbles. She's trying to act as if she never wanted a relationship with Curtis. It was all about Kevin. She just wanted to make sure that she had a moment to herself before she got back to his house. She says that she knows she's going to have to work to get his trust back, but she's willing to put in the work because she really cares about him. She's committed to him. And girl, who the hell are you fooling? Get out of here. The only person that's buying this is Kevin. So the first night went well. Her and Kevin had the good sex. And the next morning he's making breakfast for her, and now she's talking about settling down. They both need to stop seeing other people and just focus on their relationship. Kayla is still texting and calling, and I said it's only a matter of time before she shows up at his house. He says that he doesn't know if he's willing to let Kayla go. What? We knew that. You didn't have to waste our time telling us. Tiffany says that she's on parole for 15 years and wants to stay clear of trouble. Well, if you really wanted to stay clear of trouble, you would not have invited Curtis to pick you up. And then she's all worried about Kevin not being able to commit. Didn't you have Curtis and Kevin picking you up from the halfway house, or Kevin showing up there? Girl, for somebody who really hates a lot of drama, you seem to be cause of it. And so is Kevin. You guys belong together. Kevin could easily block Kayla, but he doesn't. He continues to confuse her by speaking to her, talking to her. It's extremely irritating. Kevin is manipulating Kayla, and Tiffany is manipulating Kevin. And sooner or later, Kayla is going to show up and whoop both their ass. I'm just saying, my money is on Kayla. Anyway, you guys, get down in the comments and let me know what you think. And until next time, bye.